Hi, I'm Donald Watkins. This is my wife, Carrie. About a year ago, we had a son named Weston. He had gastroschisis,
which is a birth defect that your bowels are on the outside of your stomach. He went through a couple of surgeries. He ended up having heart surgery and surgeries to repair his stomach from his intestines being out. And then on the 4th of July is when he passed away. A couple months later, we actually found out we were pregnant with Aspen. We had actually just moved here from Louisiana where we had our son at, so we were still trying to gain some ground. We weren't sure, if she was going to be born with the same thing that he did, or, if she would make it to term, because they told us that after having a child born with gastroschisis, that you tend to have a higher chance of more birth defects. It was kind of scary. You have all the doubts. You want to be happy, but in your back of your mind, you're thinking, well, what if, what if?
Everything was pretty smooth this time up till 26 weeks. They started to think that she was going to come early due to the fact that Carrie's pelvis was starting to separate because of how big Aspen was. It was having a lot of trouble keeping her in there.
And we ended up having our high-risk appointment, coming out and viewing the NICU, and then 2 days later we were admitted. That was pretty scary to be back in that same spot we just were not that long ago. Everything went pretty quick. The C-section in itself was, I think, like 13 minutes long from when they first started to when it ended. It was pretty scary. It went really fast.
She was born at 29 weeks, which is 11 weeks premature.
She was born at 3 pounds 1 ounce, and she dropped to about 2 pounds 6 ounces and kind of stayed there for the first few weeks. It's normal, though, to go back and forth. But she kind of stayed there for a little while longer than they were hoping. So they gave her caffeine, which helped her breathe a little bit, and then they were giving her calories to help her gain weight.
We actually live about an hour and a half away from here at Fort Riley, Kansas, and it was difficult to be able to move back and forth every time we wanted to come see her.
We were pretty much, trying to stay as close as possible. NICU babies that don't get a lot of hands-on with their parents, whose parents can't make it because of the same situations we were in, but don't have the resources, their babies don't really do as well. They don't succeed, they don't grow as fast. The Ronald McDonald house was amazing. They made sure that you had clean beds, the rooms were nice. There was always food constantly. They were always, did you eat today? We have so much food. So it was nice. There was always, something to come back to.
Pretty much took care of everything we needed, meals, bedding, any kind of cleaning supplies, anything that we needed while we were here was taken care of, so that all we had to do was worry about going to see Aspen.
It was good having people that cared, who knew the situations that you were in. So they were always there, whether it was emotionally, support, just constant help coming from every direction. The other families understand, what exactly you're going through. The people that work here understand what you're going through. We were actually here for a couple days when we met Mindy, who kind of helped us along the way with anything that we had to do, asked us if there was anything we needed, who was constantly there.
She was always there with words of encouragement. Everyone always asked how she was doing. Even the guests were here to support everybody and make sure that everybody was good.
So it was nice to have people that were there, not only for the baby, but for you, just to make sure that everything was going so well. Everything was pretty much, touch and go for the first couple weeks. She would do really well, and then she would kind of, go back on the weight a little bit. She had a hard time hitting over 3 pounds. She dropped for a couple weeks. So we were pretty much there all the time. And then she started having problems where she was needing a little bit more support with the breathing on the CPAP. We couldn't quite get her off. She ended up getting a blood transfusion, and that seemed to change everything for her. Within days, she was breathing on her own. She was eating everything on her own. So that's when we finally realized that hopefully soon we were going to get to take her home. Once she finally went back up to 3 pounds 1 ounce, she kind of went up every day from there. Since then, things have been so fast. She's growing. She's already 10 pounds. She's still on her apnea monitor, but she's got her own little personality. She's got the craziest attitude for being so tiny. She's starting to talk. She likes to yell at her dad a lot.
It's just nice to finally, come home. We have Aspen and then my wife home every night. When I get home, I get to see Aspen every day, and she's always smiling and happy when I get home.
It feels like things are finally at peace, where we can actually, look forward now instead of having to keep looking back on what she went through and everything. Without the Ronald McDonald house, I don't think it would have been nearly as easy. I think, honestly, we would have been back in the situation we were with our son, financially struggling.
Last time we didn't have the support of the Ronald McDonald house. We were shelling out thousands of dollars trying to stay at the hospital by our son, and even after only being out there for a month with him, we were broke by the time we got home. We had we were to the point where we were having to sell some of our stuff just to be able to stay out there with him. So the Ronald McDonald house helped dramatically.
She got to bond with Mindy, and Mindy got to see all her little, the little quirks that she has and her little attitude that she throws. It was really exciting for them to be able to, put the face to the baby that they were constantly hearing about. It's actually really nice to have other people there who understand, the struggles that you're going through and the trying times, especially where the harder situations where, sometimes the babies don't make it out, like our son's situation. And so you always want to see, everybody go home and their babies be healthy. But it's also nice to know that you can also help other families because you're not alone. You can help them, and emotionally everybody helps each other in the Ronald McDonald house. So you're all there for each other. And that's the biggest part.